In the previous episode, myself and Fizzle of the Tambak Exco team, together with some workshop mechanics and owners, to get an insight of YSS suspensions. There, we were introduced to the showroom and got to know the company's history and range of products. After that, we had a sneak peek on technical training, where the mechanics learned on how to tune, service, and fix YSS suspensions and shocks. Continuing from where we left off, in this episode, we're given a tour of the factory, where we get to see firsthand on how raw materials are made into YSS shocks.
I think in Thailand, who make the shock absorber with spring factory, we don't have. Usually make our factory only shock absorber. Some factory make only the spring. But we can reduce lead time of development of our product. How? When we produce the prototype that you see in the R&D store, maybe in Singapore would like to softer spring more comfort than Europe sometimes because we are lighter or we need smaller spring and lowerless sometimes. So we can develop spring in 3 days. One day we make the specification and the second day we turn for next process and the third we send the spring to assembly. But for assembly and sale, we need some time because supplier have plan to production. So in this, we make many process in the spring, but only one day we can make this process, around 10 process. Welcome to see the process inside. We keep on the arrow line. So that you see India, we try to use the standard machine around the world that have a high performance. This machine we call the endurance test. We can press the spring light, we press more than in the bike to sure about our spring can keep the quality, can keep the size, can keep the shape after you use maybe in 10,000 or more. Why we lubrication the oil? Somebody asked me, but we need to reduce some temperature. But on the spring have high temperature already when made together. So we can trust about when use low temperature and high temperature, we can keep the quality inside the tests. After we send the coiling to here, we start process. We call coiling. That means turn around the coil to make the shape of the spring that we need. We send R&D specification to this machine, same as our design. So we put the numbering inside to production like here. Yes. About 5 or 10 seconds per pieces we can produce. But however, when the NC machine is work, we have to measure again for confirm the quality and record inside this. That you see we have many numbering to make sure our specification comply with our design. This is motorcycle, but we have it 3 machine, can make for car, for front fork, we have for all, for spring. Okay, the next process we made for tempering to heating up and cool down for keep straight and strain. Because when we rolling maybe crack on surface, we have to improve the material quality after rolling to protect the crack on the side of wire. So it's very hot. It's about 200 degrees. We have standard time to make each model, depend on our knowledge and standard. Okay, inside this inside area we have grinding. This grinding machine. Why we grinding is very important for make the flat both sides for motorcycle. Because when we assembly like this, if we don't flat for gliding, maybe it's like this. So we keep the quality and make flat, keep the length. If the total length is in the correct specification, it's very important for gliding. We have 7 gliding machines depend on model that we use. There is the gliding special, gliding for fork spring. Because fork spring need low friction when used in the racing or used in the front fork. We need Low friction, that means very, very small roughness outside, because the oil can be flow in and flow out. If the frog spring have rough, very rough, the oil will go to not good. So very important inside. Okay, this is the last process for us. That means cleaning the spring and painting. This painting with automation machine too. We use the powder coating that you see, light powder. The powder coating don't need contamination another for send to environment. We have why to make the electrolyte. Electrolyte when can be magnetized to the spring and keep the thickness. After this color, we send to oven. The powder coating will melt.
Okay.
And cover around the spring, and after that we check the thickness and control the quality, yeah, like this. Then after finish for painting and oven, that means already finished spring, ready to be used. But some model we don't need to record because it's different shape. But for many model like car or top line, we have to make the marking, spring numbering for use.
Chroming not do here.
No, chroming we send to our supplier better. Okay, finish for our factory. Thank you very much everybody for have lunch. Thank you. ขอบคุณครับ ขอบคุณครับ
Okay guys, so that's the end of the factory tour. Certainly a lot that goes into a YSS suspension. Very enlightening lah.
Yeah, we saw the process from the start all the way to the end, all the way until they package for to send out to all the purchasers.
We then headed back to the showroom for tea break and a classroom session on the YSS product range. We were then introduced to Mr. Harry Essence, Director of Research and Development in YSS.
Yeah, I'm Harry Essence. I work with YSS 20 years already.
Well, 20 years.
As R&D director to develop the products that we have here. And before I make it in Netherlands, but later on I came here every 3 months, 3 weeks, and work here and work in Netherlands, and then we develop products and test and everything. Now we have more like what we do in Netherlands, we do in Spain and Italy and Japan, Australia, New Zealand and Thailand, of course. So we have now a bigger team with R&D centers that we can share experience together and make better product. Yeah.
So first and foremost, before I begin, what's the YSS? What does actually YSS stand for in the name?
The name stands for Your Supreme Suspension.
Oh, Your Supreme Suspension.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. That name was already there, so I didn't make the name. But
How did the company actually got started? If you don't mind sharing.
yeah, I shared the company 20 years ago. But the company original is from 1983. It has some story before I came, but when I came here the first time, they make only hydraulic shock for scooter, but then, like we are at that time in the lower level of the market, and Mr. Pino had a view for the future that he said we need better product that we can sell worldwide. So we make new products, gas shock in different sizes, and we have worked hard to prove that we make the good product. And one of the things that to prove is that in Germany you need a TÜV. TÜV means it's a sort of test made by the government if the product is safe to use. When you don't have the TÜV stamp on it, you cannot sell in Germany. But that means it's also the TÜV is a sort of quality level that the rest of the world know if you are on that level, you have a good product.
Wow.
So that's also good for other countries, not only for Germany, but it's also for ourselves that we know we make the quality that that the people need. So that is, and I think that it's our strong point with the quality and the price that we have. I think the level is very good.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's certainly interesting, sir.
Yes.
How is it different 20 years ago compared to today?
Ooh. Yeah, you mean the company or
Can you share both? Is it work right with you?
yeah. The company is totally changed, of course, because before we have small company and then we built the new factory in 2010 and we make we make a new spring factory in 2015 because we make all springs we make by ourselves, and that is also a strong point because it's a fast delivery. We can make everything in-house. Also for prototyping, if we want to make a new product or we want to test something different, we can make the spring very fast. Because normally when we order the spring outside, make prototype, they don't like to make the prototype because it's only 3 or 5 pieces. And they must change the machine to set up for 3 or 5 pieces they don't like. So then it takes a lot of time, maybe 1 month or more. And if I order spring now to test, maybe 1 or 2 days. So we can go much faster.
Okay.
And of course, the normal, there are more manufacturers of shock absorber, but they always buy the spring from the spring company. So in that case, we are different. We want to make everything as good as possible and as fast as possible. So that's a strong point from us, I think.
Okay, so final question, so what's the future like for YSS?
The future is, I think it's okay because now we start with, a few years ago we start already with car shock absorber for pickup, mainly for pickup here in Asia. But there is a big market for pickup car, and I think that is a good future for YSS, like the car department. And with the car now we're working on the electronic suspension to make, you can change the shock absorber on the dashboard with the display.
Wow.
So if that, we start to test with that system, and we make first the shock absorber where the electronic can fit. So we make it already, we test it, and it works really good. The electronic part we're working on now, that takes some time because then we have to set up many different possibilities. But that is also a good future point from YSS, a strong point, because in the future you have more electronic in the car, but also on the motorcycle. So we can use on the car, but also on the motorcycle. So we test it on the car, and then we go in a motorcycle. It's a different electronic, but the system that we use is the same. So that can be a good future for YSS. Yeah.
And for us, thank you so much for taking time off your busy schedule to be interviewed by us.
No problem.
And
You're welcome. Anytime.
All the best for YSS and the future. Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
As we conclude our factory tour and technical training, looking back, to get to know about YSS suspensions and to have a rare behind the scenes look at the factory, it was certainly an eye-opening experience for us. We want to thank YSS Suspensions and Chocklake International for the opportunity. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next one.
Ride on, ride